All new at 5, a major organized crime bust. 23 people under arrest now accused of stealing guns and cash.
Today, police revealed 4 organized crime groups are wreaking havoc.
From aggravated robbery to kidnapping, burglary, and more. Let's take a look at this. New pictures from court documents in this case. These are a few of the people who have been charged, and investigators say the money, tens of thousands of dollars, is all stolen.
FBI, open up! Welcome to this episode of Chatting with Stacks. I'm your host, Bill Stacks, and today I got the only American Pink Panther, Punch. What's up, man?
Hey, Stacks, my brother. What's up, man? How you doing?
How you doing? I'm great,
right,
man.
good.
How have you been?
You look good, man. You look great.
Thank you.
Oh, I can't wait till I see you down in Miami, man. Oh my God, it's gonna be such a good trip. You know.
Don't worry, it's coming.
Yeah, man.
I'll be down
excited.
there shortly. Yeah,
Excited about our future.
Yeah, a lot of great things going on. And for the people that don't know you, you want to give a brief synopsis of who you are?
Nah, not really. It's not that important because, as I said, I like to play a little position in all this. You know, it's so much bigger than me, you know. But, okay, yeah, my name is Punch. I'm the highest and youngest ranking member of the Pink Panthers, the Yaks crew, the Yaks crime gang, right? And that was based on a bunch of different people that combined into one enterprise and one gang that was very successful in the 70s, 80s, and 90s in New York City.
So where do you want to start off with your, do you have something in mind that you wanted to talk about?
Yeah, I wanted to cut right to the chase, and I wanted to go right to the Versace heist.
Let's get to it.
All right. Now, the person that introduced me to Versace, the label, was late 80s, 87, 88. And there was this guy that just came out of the feds. His name was Zoran Yaksic. And this guy, he's like 6'7". He's very tall. He stands out in a crowd. Very good looking guy. You know, when I first met him, he was young, up and coming, had a lot of respect everywhere in New York. Wherever he walked, he had a lot of respect because he was with Boshko. Boshko was, at that time, the leader of the Westies. Westies are more known from the west side of Manhattan, a bunch of killers, you know, that most of them got arrested and did a lot of time. Somehow, some way, it went to a Serbian guy. You know, the reins of the Westies went to a Serbian guy because he was at the right place at the right time, and he was a loyal person. And that's basically, you know, everybody around us was like that. You know, we were all loyal, and we didn't talk, and nobody knew what we did. And this is why one episode that we shot out was talking about, you know, I'm not a rat. I'm not, you know, I never put anybody on the stand. I never put anybody in jail. Yeah, that's God's honest truth. You know, that's not satire. That's not funny right there. That's God's honest truth. That really happened. But the funny part is you got guys that put people in jail, that took the stand, that took a blood oath, that pricked their finger, and they're denying it. Like it never happened. And I don't know who they're trying to fool. They're not fooling me because I had to do all the time, you know. And me, the reason why I couldn't rat, because who am I going to tell? My mother and father, you know, on my immediate family, on everybody that's around me. Like I would have got ostracized.
They would have. They would have did it. They would have did it.
Well, then they didn't have a family. Then that wasn't a real family. That means they weren't part of anything. If you're going to flip-flop for a couple of years, are you kidding me? There's guys doing a zillion years in jail, not telling, not flipping. And for a perfect example, a guy that was in our crew, Tsaro, Mirsad Petrovic, you can Google him, all right? This guy was a force to be reckoned with when it comes to loyalty, all right? And this guy, he comes from Kosovo, he's Bosnian, he's Montenegrin, you know, and he played a lot of positions. And the reason why I mention his name is because it goes back to the Versace heist. I did Versace 3 times in my life on Madison Avenue. I did the men's boutique 1 time, and I did the female twice. I made more money on the women's Versace stuff. So what I did was, to explain to the listeners, is that I performed a burglary a smash and grab, but it was done at nighttime. And what happened is I made a hole next door to Versace with another company or whatever office that was there, and I made a hole and I got into Versace, and I filled up, I don't know, 20 big, garbage bags filled with Versace silk, items, and I took out the whole store. I cleaned out the whole entire store was cleaned out, and their insurance was in the multi-millions, equivalent to a jewelry store because they had jewelry also. They had furs, leathers, jewelry. They had everything there. It was 3-4 floors on Madison Avenue. And we cleaned out that whole entire store. I did the men's once, and I clearly did that with another guy that's no longer with us. His name is Montenegro, okay? And he was prolific because he's known for doing the Ginza heist in Japan, all right? And this is one of my mother's partners. So I got with him and we did Versace, and another guy from Montenegro, his name was Ranko Michkovic, that's also in the Smart and Dangerous article that you're going to put up later down the line, when you put up Tsaro, because, those articles were popping on the Daily News, in the New York Times, like that was like front page stuff, that was going on in Manhattan, and nobody knew because you had Albanians in the Bronx, and Mirsad Tsaro, he's from the Bronx. You had me, I'm from Manhattan, and then you had guys from Brooklyn. So you had Albanian guys, you had Montenegrians, you had Serbians, oh my God. And then you had Macedonians, Italians, Greeks, and whoever else, So this is why we also go back to Joe Watts. He wasn't Italian. He was German or Welsh descent, but he had the utmost respect of the LCN, of all the families, and all the members respected this guy like he was a boss, like he was a skipper. And once that rumor came on YouTube, it was muddled real quickly, fizzled out with real guys that know Joe Watts personally, And I told you, people are going to take disrespect when they hear some false rumors about some real guys that did real time and had real money, and the jealousy was against them. People wanted to be them, okay? People wanted to emulate Joe Watts. People wanted to emulate Jimmy Burke, the guy from Goodfellas, for example. He wasn't Italian either. He couldn't be, a made guy, but he had respect like he was. The reason why I'm saying that is because my dad was an Italian, and he had that utmost level, like the level of respect that bosses had. Because I'm going to go back to the Versace thing, but I just want to touch on my father. The reason why I mentioned my father is because my father's one of the guys that weren't Italian that took guys like John Gotti out to dinner. And one specific restaurant was Dubrovnik. Everybody thought that restaurant was my father's restaurant. Everybody. Even Pedro would say, yeah, that's Mr. Stan's place, My father was heavily involved with the construction of everything, of the restaurant, but it was on Park Avenue. And my father is the guy, I wouldn't say this if it wasn't true because, they would get on top of me immediately, based on, especially if you mention a big name like John Gotti, right? So, my father is the guy that took John Gotti to Dubrovnik restaurant, all right, this Balkan restaurant, and also the place where I told you where I first officially met John Gotti when I was a teenager in Columbus Cafe. This place that Paul Herman used to own on Columbus Avenue. And my father and John Gotti used to shut that place down at night, And only people like Mike Tyson would know that. Paulie Walnuts from Sopranos, he was a fixture at the bar. And other guys in my pictures, in my portfolio. Like you're going to see guys in my book. Oh, by the way, for the listeners that don't know, we do have a book called Stealing Manhattan that's published by a major author, Edgar Award-winning author, Burl Bear, and myself, right? And it's going to be a major, I don't know, a movie, a full feature, docuseries, scripted series. I don't know, maybe everything. It's phenomenal. As a matter of fact, Stax is one of the guys that's going to be breaking down the narrative of the story of the DNA of how it transpired, from my father, how he passed the ball to me, and me, I was just like, I wanted everybody involved. I didn't care. Like, you want to make money? Let's go. Like,
Yo, one thing I want to touch on real quick is I spoke to someone the other day and they said Bosco had nothing to do with paying off the jurors for John Gotti.
What?
That's what someone said.
Time out. First of all, everything had to do with Boschko because that guy was in Boschko's pocket, nobody else's. All right. As a matter of fact, yeah, that's God's honest truth. The money did come from Sammy, though. I know that for a fact back then. The 60,000, it was paid 20,000, 20,000, 20,000 3 times it was paid. And I remember because I was home from school. I'm from Switzerland, and my father was taking me everywhere. To Panorellas, to Regimes, to there was a couple of places that John Gotti used to hang out with, and it was a very small circle. Columbus Cafe, Regimes, Panorellas was our joint. I don't believe John was ever there. Maybe passing through. But Columbus Cafe, yeah, because that's exactly where I met him personally, right? What else? Let me see. Regimes, Elaine's. That place called Elaine's, Regimes, La Giraffe, Café des Artistes. Okay, I know all the spots, bro. I even know the spots, even if they went one time, because my father was with them or he was in the circle. Now, who's in that mix? You had guys like Tony Lee, you got guys like Ali Shades, that was friendly with everybody. Like Ali Shades was a Genovese capo, but he was one of the guys that would go to the Ravenite to show respect to Gotti. And they would hang out in Regimes and in these spots that I was mentioning.
Just to set the record straight,
yeah,
that Flappy Lips there, I don't even want to mention his name, but I heard people were saying that he assaulted Ali Shades. It's not true. It wasn't Ali Shades. He tells people it was Ali Shades to up his credibility, but it wasn't Ali Shades.
Well, listen, let me just tell you something. If you did that to Ali Shades, you just wrote your own ticket. I'm just letting you know. Ali Shades is not a regular guy. This guy is not a made guy. He's a captain. He's a fucking skipper. That's like friends with John Gotti. That's friends with everybody. He was like a fucking pope. He was like a what do you call those guys that were friendly with everybody? Because he's a big gambler. Let me tell you something about Ali Shades. I was with him. I was locked up with Ali Shades. Okay, I can tell you about him, but I'm not going to because he's no longer here. All right, so I'm not going to talk shit about Ali Shades because me and him got into it. But all I'm going to say is this, that I know things that other people don't know. Okay, so I'm not going to just put it out there for no purpose. There's no reason for it. He has his legacy. He's no longer here, and God bless his family. But what I want to say is this, that if that's true, if Gene Borello robbed Ali Shades, I know the story from what I heard. I was kind of like stumped that Ali Shades was driving a Mini Cooper when he mentioned that, and I was like, Ali Shades would be driving a Mini, like maybe to throw people off. I don't know. I don't know where you got the car, but that's the first time I heard that. What I know about Ali Shades, that he was a mega player with the garbage industry. Okay, he had a chokehold on the garbage industry. He was squeezing a lot of guys that were managing waste management, and they even have a book about it. So if you want to read about Ali Shades, he's a top-notch Genovese operator. Okay, he's a skipper. So from what I heard, he was shelved, or he was like, put out to the pasture or something like that. I don't know why or what the reason was, but we were holding him down in the system. Okay, myself and another Albanian friend of mine that I considered my brother. His name is Victor Latai. He held him down.
Didn't you cut someone in front of him?
Me?
Yeah.
No, that was Georgie Goggles. That was George Conti. Yeah.
That's
another
right. That's
another
right.
stiffer. Yeah, that was in the feds. That was in Otisville. Yeah, I hit this kid to get him out of there so he doesn't get murdered, basically. So I kind of saved his life, and I made him
Saved his life
understand that.
with cutting his face up.
Yeah, yeah. But the feds, if that happens to you in the feds, you get berations, you get fixed up, you get a plastic surgeon, and they give you money. You know, like in Rikers, if you get cut in Rikers, you're gonna get a big settlement. You're gonna get a shitload of money. You know, there's something that we want to find out. Being that we're on this platform, I know we're going away from the Versace heist, but even though, listen, I'm just gonna end it right here. I'm the guy that did Versace 3 times in Manhattan, the boutique. Okay, that Johnny Versace actually built, and it's on Madison Avenue. There's one across the street, which is the women's and the men's. They were across the street from each other. And I used to have keys to those buildings because Montenegro had access to that, and we did a jewelry store there. Okay, and Graf is across from there.